We're finally here. I'm so excited. You can tell by my voice that I'm very excited. See what kind of audience we get. Who's gonna be the first one? Oh my god, it was Texas Showstopper. My biggest fan. The ad has been sent out. Yes, yes. Brian's in. Bet. $35 stream streak. Brayden really stacking that cash. Brayden will be muted for the first little bit of this stream.
Yeah, Discord ain't popping on this laptop.
Dang. Dang. It's a smart move, Reformed. Boo. We want to hear the smoke detectors.
No. I'm in my room today. If you hear two people screaming out the living room, it is two Europeans playing Little League World Series baseball. Yeah. I had to restart my laptop and it says it's just gonna update Discord, even though it really just updated a few weeks ago.
Damn. It's over. Not in the selection show. No.
But that's why I'm on my phone, so just live with the shitty audio.
Guess that'll be how it is, huh? Alright, I'm seeing 7 people in here. It's true. Selection Sunday on a Wednesday. It's a little strange, isn't it? Alright. How much more time do I want to give? Probably like 30 more seconds and we'll just get into this. Be a quicker show as the selection show usually is. Usually like 45 minutes. Alright, are we ready? Are we ready?
I am.
Nick on a 25 stream streak. Let's go. The Washington Fund is eating good. I'm gonna assume we're good. Alright, so I'm gonna go to reveal our #1 overall seeds. And where they're placed in the bracket. Got the East region, they're going to play the winner of the South region in the Final Four, and the Midwest is going to play the winner of the West. So that's how the Final Four is going to shake out. Who do we think is the #1 overall seed? Does anyone want to make a case for anyone other than Virginia?
I say Virginia.
Well, Brandon, you would be right. One loss, not enough to knock them out of this spot. They were dominant all season. finally got clipped for the first time this year against Florida State, who ended up winning the ACC tournament. But,
I think you're right, Nick. I think Florida gets the South.
Who do we think is the number 2 overall seed in the Midwest region? Who do we think?
It's not calling me Kansas, man. Who's Midwest I could think of? Michigan State? Nah.
That'd be crazy if they jumped all the way up to 1. Michigan.
Oh, let's see, boy.
West Virginia.
West Virginia? They could count, yeah. Is it? West Virginia's a weird place because it's East, it's Midwest.
Well, Polk, you had it right. West Virginia is our number 2 overall seed, heading up the Midwest region.
Oh, hold on. Let me see. If it's Florida, I want to see Nick go 4 for 4.
Who do we think this 3rd overall seed in the West region is?
Majority says Florida because they did win their conference.
Take a stab at it. Who do we think?
Queens.
Queens. I'll give you guys a hint. It is not a team that's actually in the Western. Not like a West Coast team. Unfortunately, they weren't super strong this year. Hey, you're right, Brian. Kansas. Not sure I agree with this, to be honest with you. I think Houston had a better case of being a 1 seed than Kansas, but the game likes them some Kansas. And obviously, Florida is the other 1 seed here, so we can have a Virginia versus Florida, West Virginia, Kansas Final Four, assuming they all, took care of business, but that hasn't really happened yet. We haven't had some chalky 1 seeds all make the Final Four yet. How do we feel about these 1 seeds? What are your opinions, Braden?
I think West Virginia's earned. Kansas is the biggest shocker to me because, Florida did go through what they needed to, 1 seed, won the SEC. We were talking about them or Vanderbilt being a 1 seed last week around this time, and yeah, Florida took care of it. Virginia definitely was not going to be punished for it. Is it disappointing that they didn't win the conference championship? Yes. Hopefully they win a national championship to make up for it, but West Virginia's had a good season, but I swear to God, if West Virginia pulls a West Virginia in this tournament and gets upset round 1 or round 2, I'm gonna be sad.
Kansas? We talking about Kansas?
Yeah.
Yeah, Kansas being a 1's a little crazy. I'd side with a Michigan or a Houston over them in that spot, but is what it is. But now we get onto the meat of this. We're gonna start revealing the East region, headed up by the Virginia Cavaliers. And their first round opponent will be the Morehead State Eagles.
Hold on, I got a question. Are we to expect bullshit like we have in the past? Please tell me Coppin State's not gonna be like a 12 or 13 seed.
There wasn't anything that egregious.
Okay. I just wanted to put that in the air.
There was a couple ones that were kind of stupid, but nothing really dumb.
Okay, because I just want to clarify. So when we do ask people what to expect, we kind of want realism instead of somebody saying, "Oh, Coppin State is like a 12 seed, 13 seed," when they only had 7 wins this year. Just trying to make for sure our viewers know what's best.
How do we feel about Morehead State? They told the Ohio Valley that the conference is still theirs. They win it for a 3rd straight year. Their seeding is not as good though, because we're kind of mid in the regular season. Do you think Morehead State has what it takes? Do you think Virginia does something like this?
No.
No one has belief. Yeah, I don't really buy it either. Cool story, but Virginia's 31-1 for a reason. Next matchup, we got the 8 seed Georgia Tech. Pretty sure this is their first appearance in this tournament in the Sim. They won their conference tournament, so that's all you got to do at the end of the day. How do we feel about Georgia Tech, Braden?
I'm actually happy to see them here.
They got
you know,
like 4
success
customs
before.
on their team this year.
They've had success in the past and real life, so it's actually good to see them back in the tournament. I really have nothing about them. Just happy for them.
And coming in to face the Yellow Jackets are the UT Arlington Mavericks at 31-0. So they get put into the same pot as Virginia.
Oh,
Woof.
Well,
what a first
nice
round
knowing
matchup.
you,
What an 8-9 matchup here.
well, boys. Yeah, it was GG. It was nice knowing you. Well, we'll be back. But 9 seed is kind of a little disrespectful, but yeah, it ain't gonna be UTA.
I was wondering who'd upset Virginia. Guess we got our answer.
It was nice knowing you, boys.
Sam's putting that evil on you, Braden. How you feel about that?
Well, he can put the evil. I'm just realistic. We're just happy to be here. First time ever in the Vondre Austin era. And this is actually the first time we've ever made the tournament in, program in school history. So we're gonna enjoy the ride while it is. What happens, what happens.
How you feel about Georgia Tech as the opponent?
I got to study them a little bit more. I think it's gonna be a great name, great game.
All right, moving on. Next pod. Starting with the 5 seed in this region, the Oklahoma Sooners. Kind of stumbling.
Why is this region? This region is just my teams.
Oklahoma definitely cost themselves some seeding with their performance late in the year, losing their last 3 games, I believe.
I'm back.
Stumble in as a 5 seed, and they will take on the Florida State Seminoles.
Why couldn't we get that easy grab?
The 12 seed who went on a improbable run to win the ACC and get this auto bid. But honestly, the way they're playing right now, I'd watch out if I'm Oklahoma. Florida State's they're a little hot right now. As the 4 seed, Friar. Providence is here. Big East champions. 27-4.
Man, this region is just teams I like, and they're pitting them against each other. Why?
And coming in to face them are the 13-seeded Stony Brook Seawolves, who won the CAA conference at 25-6.
This is a great matchup. Just Providence and Stony Brook. It's just something you never really see.
I like it. Nice northeast basketball. Rhode Island versus upstate New York. Yeah, Florida State's not, like, 12 seed's not super out of bounds. How do we feel about this pod? I feel like this could be really interesting.
It could get ugly.
I like Stony Brook. They could be a sneaky, like, upset team, but I do think Providence would probably get past them. Yeah, I like this one a lot. I will be sports entertained here when I'm simming it. Next one. Starting off with our 6th seed, the Syracuse Orange. A little bit of a disappointing year for them. They had higher expectations than this.
You had high expectations, especially with Kenny Ward.
Yeah. didn't really explode like I thought they would, but still, it's still a good season for them. They're in the tournament. They got a chance to make some noise. That's all that really matters in the end. And they will be playing the 11 seed Lipscomb Bisons, a 30-win team, champions of the A-Sun. How we feel about this one? Lipscomb is absolutely good enough to win this game, by the way. They got some players on their team.
This pod is just interesting. I'm just seeing
this
teams,
region is a region of death. I'm not gonna lie. There hasn't really been like a besides Virginia's matchup, obviously, but every other one's been like you could see the upset happening. Our 3 seed, North Carolina, fell in the ACC semifinal to Pittsburgh, but they had a really excellent season, 28 wins. They're going to grab a 3 seed in this region. A lot of ACC representation here so far. And they will be matching up with Georgia Southern, Sun Belt champions, upset App State in the Sun Belt title game.
Gonna upset UNC possibly. I don't know. I'm just saying I don't think that's gonna happen.
Georgia Southern, they are a good team. They won 25 games this year. I know people were making a lot of fuss about App State, but it's not like they lost to bums. I think App State would have been a higher seed than Georgia Southern. But hey, that would have been cinema. North Carolina versus App State, that'd be cinema. Next pod, last pod of the East region. Got the 7 seed, the Cincinnati Bearcats. They were kind of like the next tier in like a very strong Big 12 this year. Good team though. I think they belong here. Their record doesn't look pretty though. And they will be facing the 10-seeded Tulane Green Wave. The American does get 2 bids. Tulane's regular season impressed them enough. 10 seed also. They're not even really on the bubble, to be honest with you. 26 wins for the Green Wave. This is also a really interesting game. I could see this going either way. Like, Tulane's got some players too. That's true. Both teams were in the American at one point. Cincinnati left for greener pastures. And our 2 seed in this region, the Houston Cougars.
Is this
30
like
and
a
3.
region of death? Like,
Yeah, this is gonna be a crazy region. Like all these first round matchups look super even. And they're gonna match up with the MAC champions, the Iona Gales, in the first round. Probably as good of a 15 seed as you're gonna get. I think Houston probably wins easily, but I mean, maybe something crazy happens. Houston's actually gonna be healthy for the tournament. They weren't really that healthy for a Big 12 tournament. Thoughts on this region now that we've seen the whole thing?
Essentially group of death if we're talking in the soccer terms, but it is a region of death, so.
How do you feel about Tulane getting the at-large as a 10 seed?
I'm actually happy. I was saying it should be a 2-big conference. Like, why should Tulane be punished? But yeah, if Virginia makes it through, Virginia's gonna go through a gauntlet.
All right, we move now to the Midwest region. Oh my God, Levi Glass just subbed. Let's go, dude. Thank you.
Legend.
Legend.
It's not even a prime sub. It's a sub.
I'll get you your sub rewards after the stream. And this one is headed up by West Virginia, 30-win team for the Big 12. Still kind of weird to see them like actually look legit on paper. Their first round matchup will be the Wofford Terriers. A little bit of a trap game, honestly, because they do have Dante Bridges, a dude who could put this into a blender.
You think so?
He's
you think
good
this
enough.
Could be like possible.
I don't think it'll happen because West Virginia's not been susceptible to upsets this year. But I mean, the presence of a Dante Bridges gives Wofford at least a chance. And our 8th seed are the Auburn Tigers, just like they were last year. You remember the last time Auburn was an 8 seed, right?
Yeah.
Where did they go? They went to the Final Four.
Caused havoc.
And their first round matchup will be the Texas Tech Red Raiders. Good to see them here after a disaster season last year. They get up off the mat under new head coach Maurice Morris. They're back in the tournament as a 9 seed. Interesting matchup. Two teams that are kind of like middling in their conference, but not sure who I like. I'd probably take Texas Tech. Very slightly, though. I could see Auburn winning easily, though. Raider power.
I wonder how Corey feels.
Next pod. Starting with our 5 seed here. The Kentucky Wildcats. They make it back to the tournament after flaming out big time last year and missing it entirely. And they're going to match up with the 2-time Big South champs, the Winthrop Eagles.
I'm calling it now. Upset.
Upset potential is definitely here. I do like Winthrop. Experienced team, veteran team. Could for sure see this happening. Kentucky just hasn't earned any benefit of the doubt yet, unfortunately. Our 4 seed, the Maryland Terrapins, out of the Big Ten. Good season for them. Don't have any issues with this seeding for them. Also a very veteran team. They got a lot of upperclassmen on their roster. Could be in for a nice little run here. I don't feel super threatened by Kentucky or Winthrop if they make it past their first round opponent, the Memphis Tigers, who won the American Conference. They get the auto bid as a 13 seed here. I do think Memphis has upset potential. Like, they're still a good team. They don't have quite the superstars that they had last year, though. Obviously, they had Holokai Leilani, who left for the draft after last year. Memphis to the Sweet 16. I could see it. I don't think it's impossible. I could see any of these 4 teams getting to the Sweet 16. Like, I don't think Kentucky's just going to get upset. Definitely an interesting pod. Any of these 4 teams could come out of it. Next one. Starting with our 6th seed here, the BYU Cougars. Team that definitely came on strong late in the year. They could be a threat. Honestly, they might be a team that makes it the Elite 8. And no one's super surprised by it because the way they're playing late in the year. Let you know. Led by Thomas Solberg, Joseph Simonson, who's blossomed into their best player this year. And they're going to be taking on the Atlantic 10 champions, the St. Louis Billikens. Really like this matchup on paper. I feel like the Billikens have the kind of players to match up. Jake Hall, Matthew Conroe, Tanner, I think Tanner Hunt. Good team. Like a classic 11-6 upset. I think I'd probably pick BYU here, but I wouldn't be shocked if the Billikens pulled one. Two teams that are playing good hoop at the right time. Then we got our 3 seed. Here's where Michigan State is after winning the Big Ten tournament. They were probably going to be like a 5 seed if they'd just like gone out where they were supposed to according to seeding. And they are going to be facing off against the IU Indy Jaguars, champions in the Horizon League this season. How we feel about this pod, Braden?
Easier than the one before.
What's your take on BYU and St. Louis? I feel like that's going to be a great game, honestly.
BYU has been better this year compared to past in the sense of you could trust them a little bit more, but I kind of trust St. Louis. Now it would be a Sparty type of thing to do, losing to IU Indy though. That would be funny.
It would. I don't think it'll happen.
I see it happening. Look.
You're just calling...
You know what? I'm gonna save this PSA for the after. I'll say this PSA at the end of the stream. Where's it in? We're just gonna go on to the next group of teams.
All right.
I'll get the
Our last
later.
pod for the Midwest region. We started with our 7 seed, the Wisconsin Badgers. Probably a little lower than I'd probably have them on the 6th line if I was making the bracket, but Wisconsin still in the tournament. Definitely a weaker version of the teams we were used to in years 1 and 2. But they're here, and they will be facing off against the Oklahoma State Cowboys? That's a 10 seed? Is this year's Washington? I did not have Okie State on my radar. I'd probably side with Wisconsin in this one. I don't really... All due respect to Oklahoma State, I don't really view them as a tournament caliber team, honestly. I don't think they quite got the roster for this. And our 2 seed here, the Michigan Wolverines. Probably cost themselves the 1 seed by going out as quickly as they did in the Big Ten tournament, but they are a 2 seed once again, 3rd straight year as a 2 seed. And they are going to go up against Coppin State, who's somehow a 15 instead of a 16 seed, but they're here as a 7-win team who won their conference tournament. The 7 seed Coppin State Eagles won the MEAC. Wisconsin-Michigan rematch in the 2nd round would be cinema. I would put that as likely to happen. All right, thoughts on this region now that we know all the teams? Do we think Michigan redeems themselves for the debacle last year? I would sure hope they get past Coppin State as a 27-win team. Michigan has these great regular seasons just to lose to shitters in the tournament. I mean, I wouldn't say Mercer's shitters, but Coppin State are absolutely shitters. People calling on Michigan to lose. That's tough. All right, moving along. We're going to the West region, headed up by the Kansas Jayhawks. They were 27-5 this season. And their first round matchup will be the Alcorn State Braves, champions of the SWAC. They were the 10 seed in that conference and went on a run to win that conference championship. I would hope Kansas doesn't have much problems here, but perhaps they'd have some problems with our 8 seed here, the Conference USA champions, the New Mexico State Aggies, coming in as an 8 seed. How do we feel about this?
Do you think they can make a run deep down? Kansas is kind of
I feel like Kansas is a lot more susceptible this year. I mean, it's funny because they lost in
Compared
the
to
second
last
round.
year,
They
yeah.
lost in the second round last year, but their roster is weaker this year. And the game has respected the Aggies here. They're giving them an 8 seed here.
There's no side yet. I don't know if there'll be a side this stream. I'm just more in a PSA type of mood, public service announcement, but y'all find out.
And the Aggies will play the 9 seed Indiana Hoosiers out of the Big Ten.
That's actually disgusting. That's disgusting.
I kind of agree. I could see the Aggies. I could totally see the Aggies getting to Sweet 16. I don't know. I feel like they could do it against Kansas.
This is disgusting. Indiana making it. Fucking disgusting.
Kansas wins in 9 overtimes. If only games went that long. Guess the Big Ten tournament win over Michigan got Indiana some brownie points, I guess. I don't know. Anyways, moving on.
Are they this year's Washington?
Our 5 seed, Pittsburgh, comes in back to the tournament after, pretty sure they missed last year. I don't remember them in the tournament last year. 25 win season for them, led by Jalen Thomas and Martin Bazin. Could be an interesting team. I do like Pitt this year. And they're going to match up with Hawaii, the Mountain West champions. I like how this game looks on paper. This could be a potential upset. I do like Hawaii. Although I'd probably ride with Pitt. They just have... I do like some Jalen Thomas. Does Braden have any thoughts on Pitt, Hawaii, first round? Exotic matchup. They got the custom player Connor Goff, I believe, on their team. He's like an 88 overall. People feeling the 12/5 upset. Aloha, yes. I guess Braden's muted. Anyways, we're just gonna move on. Our 4 seed, Alabama, get a lot of credit for their run to the SEC title game where they dodged Vanderbilt. But they're a 4 seed with 11 losses. I like Alabama. Their team's good, but I feel like I don't know if they're going to be very long for this tournament. As you can tell by the record, they have lost quite a few games. And they're going to match up with the Missouri Valley champions, the Northern Iowa Panthers. Two upsets I could see happening. Not sure if I'd go that far to say they'll happen, but I can imagine it in my head. Bama going on a run. Yeah, I think pretty sure Sanderson's out for the rest of the season. Vidichenko messed him up. Anyways, next pod.
I apologize,
Our
people.
6 seed.
It's never a dull day in apartment 304. Can I cook in your apartment? Can I cook in your apartment?
Our runners-up from last year, St. Mary's Gales, come in as a 6 seed this year. They were a 5 seed last year. Similar seeding this year. They're good, but I'm not sure they'll be able to recapture the same magic they had last year. All due respect to Elijah Higgins. If they have a deep run again, he's stamped. He's absolutely stamped. I will never question him ever again. And their first round matchup is going to be an interesting one. It's going to be UMBC out of the America East. What a matchup this is. I hate that one of these teams is going to be going out in the first round, honestly.
St. Mary's got to win. I'm sorry, UMBC.
That's tough. I like both of these teams. UMBC getting this matchup don't seem right. Put them against like Alabama or something. Jameer Fremby's his last run with the Retrievers. That is true. St. Mary's has not gone out in the first round yet. I'll side with the Gales because they have they got a better like overall roster, but Retrievers could do it. They got the star player to make it happen. Our 3 seed here, the Illinois Fighting Illini, find themselves as a 3 seed once again. They were 3 seed last year as well. Another good season for them. Probably a little better than I thought they would be. Losing Adam Brault, Sean Earhart stepped up big time. Him and Bryce Moeller carried the torch without their National Player of the Year from a year ago. And their first round matchup will be against the Yale Bulldogs out of the Ivy League. 23-10 season for them. Oh, we're giving bits now. Let's go, y'all. Levi Glass gives 100 bits, and Yoni just gave like 15, I think.
Yoni actually giving bits? Oh my god. Such a legend.
Brault probably the
UTA's
I did glaze that, man. He was so good though. It was justified. I don't care what anyone says.
He was good, Shane. He was good.
I'll die on that hill. He's probably the best college player we've had in this sim so far. As far as like aura. And our last pod for this region. Starting off with the 7 seed, the Notre Dame Fighting Irish out of the ACC. 22-9 season. They were decent all year. Led by their veteran guard, Kevin Leibowitz. Finally get to the tournament for the Irish. And their first round matchup will be against Kansas State. Big 12 getting some questionable selections, I will say. Okie State and K-State? Don't know about that. And they're both 10 seeds? I don't know about that. I'd probably go Notre Dame here. Just based on how I look at this. Give me the Irish. And our last matchup here starts with our 2 seed. There's Vanderbilt. How you feel, Braden?
Happy.
They're still
like
on the
them.
2 line.
All over.
After the shocker upset to Georgia. And their first round matchup will be the Stonehill Skyhawks. Champions in the NEC. We had some weird conference champions this year, folks.
I'm happy for you, David. David and I actually talked about this.
First year head
DC,
coach Mac
not DC,
Delaney
DMs
gets
today.
Stonehill to the tournament for the first time ever. Vanderbilt isn't tweaking. They should get out of this to the Sweet 16 pretty easily. Their roster's a little too good for these teams, I think. And that is it for the West region. How do we feel about this one? Honestly, I'd probably take Vandy to get to the Final Four out of here. But that's assuming they don't. That upset's still fresh on my mind. But maybe they're one of the teams that continues the trend of one and done conference tournament to just going on a tear in the national tournament. Maybe. Possibly. Commodores at their best are a extremely good team. And they're not in a region I'd say is super difficult. But yeah, that's my soapbox about Vanderbilt. Anyways, we're going to our last region. Headed by the Florida Gators. Had an excellent year, winning both the regular season and tournament titles in the SEC. 1 seed, well deserved for them. Their first round matchup will be against the Bucknell Bison out of the Patriot League.
Florida should win. Florida should steamroll them.
Yeah, probably. Bucknell's got like one actually good player on their team, overall wise. Mad Chad Hutchinson. We thinking Florida's a favorite for the whole tourney? I don't disagree. I mean, they've passed basically every test. They don't respect the Patriot League. To be fair, it was pretty poverty this season. Our 8 seed here, San Diego State. They do return to the tournament. I was wondering if they might get left out, but they're here as an 8 seed this year. Runners up in the Pac-12 once again. And their first round opponent will be the Washington Huskies out of the Big Ten. Washington's 2 wins over top 5 opponents definitely played a factor here. Those were huge for them.
I want to hate, but you know what? I'm happy for you, Nick.
They get a 9 seed this year. They're going to match up with the Aztecs round 1. Washington Husky sized pants. Washington is making the Sweet 16. Kind of doubt that. I don't know if they've shown the consistency to beat a team like Florida. But you're free to pick that, Yoni. It's a free country. Next pod, we start with our 5 seed, the Gonzaga Bulldogs. Champions of the Pac-12 for a 3rd year in a row. Not quite as strong as the last 2 seasons, so they only get a 5 seed, but a good year nonetheless for them. Don't know if I see any championship upside, though. Just don't have the depth for me to think that. Their first round opponent will be the 12-seeded UC Irvine Anteaters.
Battle of the West Coast.
West Coast showdown here. Does Heel have any comments about the Anteaters? That's who I really want to hear from about this team. Yeah, they kind of do. They finally got a Big West title. Could see an upset. I've harped on Gonzaga's like depth being an issue. Like it's could rear its head in a game like this against the UC Irvine's a good team on paper. If I saw people pick the Anteaters, I wouldn't even say it's a dumb pick. Not at all, actually. Might do that on my bracket. I feel like Gonzaga's susceptible. Anyways, 4 seed. There's Arkansas. Team that Braden's been very hard on this season.
Just because I keep thinking they're injured longer than they are.
No Zay Russian for them. If they had that guy, I think they'd be a very believable natty contender, but without him, definitely harder to see that. 4 seed though, I mean, they were down bad with injuries for like a couple weeks during the regular season, but they still only had 6 losses. Pretty good year for them, everything considered. If they don't if they don't make a run, they'll have the excuse that Russian was hurt, I guess. And their first round matchup will be the McNeese Cowboys, the 3-time defending Southland Conference champions. McNeese had Aura a couple years ago, but I don't know if they have the team to really challenge Arkansas. Go like matchup pound for pound. Kind of don't really see that happening. But feel free to prove me wrong, McNeese. Makes it more interesting. Alright, next pod. Got one more after this. Starting with the 6th seed, Mississippi State. Bulldogs had a pretty nice season, all things considered. Kind of expected to fall off a little bit, but they had a really nice start to their SEC play. Kind of coasted down the stretch, but they're going to get a 6th seed anyway. And their first round matchup will be the Omaha Mavericks out of the Summit League. This one could be fun. Fun looking matchup. What does Braden think about this as a Nebraska as a Nebraska head?
To be honest, I think they can do it. It might be the corn finally getting to my brain after all these years, but I actually think Omaha can do this. Is it crazy, Shane? Is it crazy to say that?
Nah, they got the Omaha does have the best offense scoring wise in the nation. If they're able to get hot, could be dangerous. Anyways, our 3 seed, the Ohio State Buckeyes. Big Ten runners up in the tournament, losing to Michigan State in the title game, but they're going to get a 3 seed here. Strong team on paper. Had some points in the season where they didn't look too strong, but definitely deserved 3 seed for them. They're going to match up with the Eastern Washington Eagles in round 1. How we feel about this group?
Ohio State's winning, but I think they'll beat Omaha. That's my analysis.
I agree with that. I think they'd beat Mississippi State too. Eastern Washington finally got to the tournament. Broke Idaho's hearts. And our last pod, starting with 7 seed, the Tennessee Volunteers. A team that has failed upwards most of this season. They're going to get a 7 seed. Don't know if I agree with that. Actually, I do know if I agree with that. I don't. But they're going to match up with the 10-seeded UConn Huskies.
I'm going to be honest. This is a brother ew versus brother ew matchup. That's how I feel about this. It's that this is like all the games have intrigued me. Even some of the 1/16s, like, oh, this is a good story. Or it's either, man, this is a good team versus a shit team, but there's a story. Then you get to these 2 teams, and it's just like,
somebody's gonna get to the second round here, and we're gonna have to accept that. And our 2 seed here, the Arizona Wildcats, Big 12 champions. Are they surging at the right time? I know basically all their losses this year have been in embarrassing fashion. Befitting if when they lose, it happens that way again. But their first round matchup will be the Eastern Michigan Eagles. Back-to-back MAC champions. They were 14 seed last year. They're 15 this year. Despite having a better record, I believe. Didn't think Eastern would have a chokehold on the MAC. Did not expect that. And that is our bracket, everybody. We're going to go to our bids by conference breakdown. SEC and Big 12 led the way with 9 apiece. Big 10 had 8. ACC with 7. Pac-12, Big East, and the American all had 2. Everybody else has 1 apiece. Big 12 didn't deserve shit. That's Yoni's thoughts. How we feel about this conference breakdown, Braden?
Let me analyze.
These are all the multi-bid conferences.
I don't think Indy should have had one. I don't think Indy should have made a tournament. I'm skeptical because every year there's always just that one team creeping in. Washington, I'm not saying they shouldn't be in it, but those 2 top 5 wins did a lot. It did a lot, I say. I'm starting to think the Big Ten is just an overrated conference. Am I wrong for saying that? Every year, I feel like every year we overrate them.
I don't know if I'd say they're overrated, but probably I think the middle tier of the conference just cannibalizes itself a little too much. So the records get a little ugly. But yeah, that is it for our selection show, guys. A little over 50 minutes. I'll be putting out the bracket challenge shortly after the stream. For anyone who hasn't submitted their customs, you have an hour to do that before I close it down for the year. Unless people will want to lobby for an extra day, since I was planning to have this tomorrow. We can discuss that later, though. But yeah, thank you all for joining. Next stream will be I'll stream tomorrow evening, breaking down all the teams in the tournament to inform bracket picks. And then our next show stream will be going over March Madness. I haven't even seen him yet.
It's my time for my PSA, right?
Oh yeah.
All right, everyone. I hope you're sitting down, either in a car, in a rocking chair, or on the couch, or at your monitor. Listen closely. No matter how much team building, scheming, manipulating you do to build your team to get tiers and all that, remember, this tournament and game does not give a fuck about you. It will ruin your lives. It will ruin your bracket. There will be victims in this tournament, and I hope you're prepared for that. No matter if you're saving up for a fabulous 5, aka like Michigan teams in the 90s, you could be upset by a 16 seed. Just be prepared for what this game will do to you. It shows no mercy. So, let the Hunger Games begin. Wait, no, that's the wrong show. This is DCAA. Let the DCAA games begin.
That's all you had to say?
Yep.
All right, yeah. On that note, I'll bid you all adieu. I'll see you all tomorrow for breaking down all the teams in the bracket. Bye-bye now.